All right. So how have you been, brother? You're out in Australia, right?
Yes, sir. It's out here in Newcastle East. Yeah.
Nice, man. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what's going on with the MMAFA that I saw you were talking about. I mean,
Yes,
been hearing
sir.
a lot. I've been hearing a lot of rumblings from a lot of fighter friends. Not a lot of people happy right now.
Oh, of course they're not happy with Rita who.
So what's the deal with the MMAFA? Is a MMA Fighters Association? Is it kind of like a union type of deal?
Yeah, sort of. We're trying to bring in the Ali Acts into the MMA. Ali Acts in the boxing at the moment, so it's actually a good association for all the fighters to be a part of to try and give them equality. To be honest, and that's one thing that a lot of the fighters um, should be looking into, working towards. We see that a lot of the fighters now complaining about it, all the champions complaining about fighters' pay. I mean, I was complaining with these guys a long, long time ago before I had my issues with them and dropped a lawsuit on them. So, I was battling with these guys 5, 6 years ago before this happened. And, it's no surprise to me that all these fighters are complaining about it. And it's a sad situation, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously these men are putting their lives at risk for for people's entertainment, for Uncle Dana's entertainment, but under Uncle Dana's pockets. But I mean, I saw an interview recently with him that they were interviewing him about this fighter island thing that they're doing out in like Abu Dhabi, and he was trying to defend himself, saying, things are rough, and the trying to keep a business running during a pandemic and global business, blah blah blah. But like you said, this has been going on for a long time. This isn't just recent.
This isn't new. I mean, you know, uh, Dana and that make all these excuses with all this for why they should have paid the fighters correctly. Although they make 10% up of the company, they're the most important part of the company. People don't pay to watch Dana; they pay to watch the fighters. And before the pandemic hit the whole world globally, they weren't paying the same. They were paying them still the same back then. So there's no excuse for. I mean, he says that the pandemic, everyone's doing it tough. Well, you're not. You got about $400 million. It should have been dispersed to all these fighters instead of your punk ass, to be honest. And that's the problem. I mean, before the COVID hit, everyone was still getting paid around. I thought it was like four, but they're 18% or some garbage like that. And so that's not an excuse you could use, to be honest. The other excuses people make is, oh, it's only a new company. It's new as in the sense of the other sports like boxing that are like 100 years old or whatever. That's still not an excuse because everybody's watching UFC. The MMA is mainstream. The UFC is mainstream. And the thing about the MMAFA is that we just want to get equality, as in fair and equal, paid to everyone. If you're the champion, you should be getting paid championship money. Why doesn't guys like despite the way I've with the cheating and all that stuff with John Jones, I mean, fighter pay equality also. I mean, why shouldn't he be making Canelo Alvarez money? Why shouldn't they be making Anthony Joshua money? These are the best and the elite fighters in the world. Like I said, despite my discrepancies with his cheating and all that sort of aspect. Um, yeah, why can't guys that get the belts make this kind of money? The whole world's watching these guys, and to do it, to risk their lives for little to no money at all. It's a joke when people say $1 million is a lot. Well, if you compare it to these other pro athletes, it's not even a drop in the bucket. I mean, a drop in
Yeah,
the ocean. It's fucking. I mean, if you say $1 million is what you're getting your base pay, half of that goes for tax. The half is going for camp, and then you've got to wait till another 3, 4 months to your next fight. So sometimes there's not the way I see it. There's no point in trying to be a prize fighter with the UFC, a top end fighter. What's the point? There's no, there's certainly no money in it. I mean, um, and
yeah.
there's no. I did this the other day, yesterday. I forgot the word for it. there's no prestige in this belt. When you become the world boxing champion of the world, the heavyweight champion, you don't argue about money. You just argue about nothing. You've got your freedom. You've got prestige. You've got money. You've got everything. With the UFC bout, people are starting to realize they don't get jack shit, but just more arguments. And people that the fighters that undercut these guys are just selling themselves short, because they're going to come to this crossroads also. If they do get the title, they're going to come to the crossroads. Well, why am I not getting the sort of type of money that these guys are making? Well, that's because your dumbass fucking sold yourself short.
Yeah, I saw that there's a lot of people that, oh well, Dana said it himself. He was like, oh, if they don't want to take the fights, then I'll give the fights to those who want it. And it's like, yeah, but you're taking advantage of them. You don't realize that, and he even made a point that hurts him, which is that he's like, oh, we're the only sport that is still active. And it's like, yeah, so that means you're still making money somehow.
They're making shitloads of money, and they're still screwing fighters over. They're saying that they're doing it tough because of the pandemic. Well, they got everyone to pay the pay-per-views, but they're still not paying the fighters the right amount of money. They're paying them 18 to 20% when it should have been 50%.
At least, right?
At least, even before this pandemic hit, they said, oh, we're doing it tough. Well, bullshit, mate. How are you doing it tough when you're still getting paid on the pay-per-views?
Yeah, and then and one of the biggest issues with the UFC with me was I was a big fan. Back when you were in there fighting, I was watching every pay-per-view. I was there, But once they started every week, they were doing like 2 or 3 events a week. Like they're making so much money, so much more money, especially with deals with like ESPN and Fox and everything. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, it does. It's a business, and it makes totally sense to me. That I think it's time these fighters need to just realize and say, "Oh, we're getting screwed here, and you need to do something about it. Nothing's gonna change. The business is gonna keep rolling, and they're gonna use you to make them richer than they already are." I mean, I think they're doing their Fight Island. I think that royal family in that country owns 10% of that company anyway. The last I was heard that all the owners of this company are celebrities anyway. But I mean, people need to stop supporting this company. The fighters need to all just say, you know what, I'm just going to bite the bullet and not fight. Things will change in an instant with this company, because the fighters and the fans have all this power. But if they're just going to continue to support them and let the fighters go and fight for pittance, well then, well, like I said, and these fighters are going to take these fights, undercut everyone else, then what's the point? I mean, shit.
Yeah.
There's no way. Like I said, there's no point in trying to fight for that title and get into the top, because there's no prestige in this title and there's no fucking money at all.
Is there any organization right now that you would you're saying a fighter that's coming up and they're like, I want to fight on a big stage? Would you like recommend anybody else, like a Bellator or something like that?
All we're doing is just I mean, UFC's got the monopoly, the mainstream. There's no other company that can do it, but just understand what we're trying to do. Understand that even if you get to the top of the sport in the UFC, you won't be making the money you think you're going to be making. If you're happy with making $1,500,000 instead of the next level, then that's fine. Then you could go ahead and do that. But we're just trying to make things a fair playing field in the pay district on that lawsuit on the Ali Act. Like I said, I'm in a couple of lawsuits against this company, and I was dealing with these scumbags a long time before this even happened.
Yeah. So
and
what?
I said anything about it. I said, you know what, sick of this shit, and I'm going to do something about it.
Yeah. And what needs to be done? Like, what is it that the MMAFA can do, or fans, I guess? What can fans do to support, and what's the move? I mean, how do you stop such a monopoly, such a monster like that?
The funny thing is, the fans can just not buy their pay-per-views. Don't support them, because they're not even supporting the fans. Don't buy the pay-per-views. I mean, you think you're supporting? If you want to just pay for the fights to watch people get fucked up, well then do that, by all means. If you want to support your favorite fighters or whatever, don't buy the pay-per-view, because and the actual fact is you're only just these people are getting richer and richer, and all their money is going to these guys. Only 20% or 18% of the revenue is being shared with these other guys. You can just tell by the pay-per-view numbers and then what they're actually showing you. You know what we're trying to do is bring in the Alley Act and help change things.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's funny because this whole thing started with me as a fan. I noticed the problem when the whole Reebok deal went down, when I saw that they were taking away the ability to have your own sponsors and stuff.
Well, I mean, these fighters aren't employees, even though Dana said they were employees. They're not employees; they're subcontractors. And he says they can do whatever they want. Well, you know, join the association, the MMAFA association. Let's make a stand and change things. I mean, there's no other way to do it. I can see, unless we just gonna keep going through the same cycle of shit. Well, I'm already out of it. I'm just speaking from where I came from with these guys. And you know, my beef is different. You know, with the steroids, and now joining this equality and fair pay. At the end of the day, I'm on both fronts trying to get equality on the whole fight. But like I said, I don't speak from the couch. I speak from coming through this company already and coming out the other side.
Yeah. For you personally, are you? I mean, so are you done with fighting? You're not going to fight anymore moving forward?
Well, you know, I was upset like 5 years before I ended my contract with these guys. These guys done a lot of shit to me that shouldn't have been done. You know, Dana says that we don't force fighters to fight. Well, that's not true. You forced me to fight that cheater. They forced me to fight a lot of guys, and I was just sick of it. And I had to throw down the lawsuit and move on because I wanted equality. And they took away the love I have for fighting. I mean, I've just got that back. I just signed to fight a boxing fight here in my home in Australia. I want to end my career happy. You know, fighting should be a way to. For me, it was a way to get freedom and do better things. It didn't become like that. It felt like I was in shackles with this company. They just kept screwing me one way or the other, and they just kept doing it. They kept trying to do different things to screw me over, and in the end, I just had enough. So, you know, the incidents with Josh Barnett, and then they forced me to fight Alice over him. And all I wanted was the clause in my contract saying if he was caught cheating, they'll take all the money off this guy because cheaters shouldn't be paid or prosper. And that's what this company is doing. They're actually allowing these guys to prosper. That's why there's no deterrent. They say they've got the best policies in the world, but yet they don't never enforce them. They only enforce them when they want to. Even with my contract, that says they have the power to take off the money if they've caught someone cheating. Yet they didn't do that to Brock Lesnar. They didn't do that to a lot of these guys. And this fool says, you know, we've got a deal and a contract with these other fighters. Mate, you should stick to your own fucking deals and contracts before you start talking about anyone else.
Right.
And then the fucking idiots talking about the guy's trying to white knight some other bullshit with Mike Tyson talking about it. You know, we'll cover what it costs for this and that. When Mike Tyson's talking about fighting, Dana, how about you look after your own fighters before you talk shit? White knight, right? Fucking scumbag.
Yeah, man, it's pretty shitty. It's pretty shitty what they're doing down there. I mean, again, like I try to see every side of it, but it's harsh to see, you know, that boxers can make that much money, yet MMA guys who I mean, in theory, is more dangerous. I mean, you can get a shin to the head is obviously way more dangerous than a boxing glove to the head. You know, it's still damaging, but you know, your life could end if it's done improperly, you know, or somebody can make you paralyzed, you know, from a rear naked choke or something, you know, something done incorrectly. So it doesn't seem right that the pay is that off, especially compared to like baseball or football or any other major sport, you know?
Well, we know it's not right. I mean, because look at the employees. Actually, I should have said employees. Look at the subcontractors working for them.
Yeah.
They're all complaining about it. I mean, shucks. And like I said, I was complaining a long time before this even happened. And these guys are now these guys are the champions of this company.
Yeah, I know. Like George Masvidal is part of it, right? Part of the movement.
All these guys need to join the MMAFA association. All these ex-champions, Jones, Masvidal, Sakura, all these guys. And all these guys that actually, all the fighters, all the champions need to speak up and do something about it. If you want change, you need to speak up and do something about it instead of sitting there being company. I mean, those company, they ain't looking after you. I mean, the money you should be making is Anthony Joshua money. It's fucking Tyson Fury money. These guys are laughing at the sport because They go, "Why the fuck do I want to be an MMA fighter when these scumbag or no, these guys are fighting for fucking trying to get more money? It's a fucking joke." And all these fucking cocksuckers that own this company are getting richer and richer. I mean, it's a company, but pay fucking half what it's supposed to be fair. They're gonna keep this like slavery thing going on until these guys change.
So since they're subcontractors like that, is there any health insurance that it's in, like they don't take care of you at all, right? It's on you.
I mean, you've got evidence of history. Look at Mark Coleman. Look at fucking Tim Sylvia. These guys have got injuries from work, and they can't even afford to pay for it. And the scumbag companies just going, oh blah. That's from years and years ago. These motherfuckers built your stupid company, you fuckwit. That's what makes me laugh. These guys built this company when it was fucking in its infant stages in MMA, and now they're just being thrown out to go and fend for themselves. I mean, shit. While you guys are sitting on your fucking massive yachts and planes, you know, realizing you had a fucking bullet in your head. Fucking dumb cunts. I hate these motherfuckers.
Damn, man. I don't want to. I hate that. You know, I don't want to piss you off even more. You're already a scary dude, so I don't want to upset you.
Scary. It just isn't fair, though. These fuckers don't realize it's just annoying, and they say it's just business. It ain't just business, man. You're fucking with people's lives and their kids and their families. Fuck. Yeah, that's how terrorism fucking started, man. Fuck, that's how terrorism started, you know, which is sad. But at the end of the day, this is what happens if shit can't be done legally when you guys are fucking everyone over legally. It's going to be done illegally.
Yeah. Yeah. So where can people, how do you sign up for the MMAFA and like, what else can, what is it that the MMAFA is going to do? Is it just lawsuits? Are they doing like strikes? Like, how is that working?
Well, they're in a lawsuit for like 6 years. They've been in this thing trying to get it passed legally. I mean, just go up and join the Instagram page, and then just message. You'll get all the information you need from there. I mean, there's nothing else much they can do to it. They've been in a law battle for like 6 years. I mean, I've been in mine for like 3 years, and what else you got to do, man?
Yeah, and it's rough too because lawsuits take forever. You know, I mean, I'm in a lawsuit right now with another company, and
these guys got plenty of money, and these guys got all the money. So I mean,
they'll just keep dragging it out. Yeah.
Well, they can't keep dragging it out forever, but you know, it's just that's how things work. But you know, we have to try and make things change things, and go from there.
So is there
crazy and shit? But I'm really passionate about this stuff.
I can imagine it was your life, dude. You're an MMA legend yourself. You know, I can understand that's your livelihood. That's your whole career. You know, it makes sense.
They ripped my career out. They ruined my career. Those motherfuckers. Well, what was left of it anyway? So you know.
Yeah, I mean, at least, I mean, not the least, but you know, your legacy's still there. Your matches and everything that you've done is still important, at least to the fans. You know.
At least I'm not just fucking blowing smoke. You know, I said I'll do something about it, and I've been trying to do something about it. So hopefully things change.
Have you? So you know, you said you lost your passion for it. You know, have you considered at all like becoming like opening up a gym, or maybe even trying to do something a little on your own? You know, to kind of keep going with it at all.
Well, I got like 5 businesses. You know, I have a couple of gyms going already. That's not the issue though. Like I said, fighting was everything to me. It's been my livelihood for a long, long time, and to be a prize fighter at the top end from a few different sports at the top end, it's pretty good to be able to do. I mean, not many people can say that they've traveled the globe and got paid handsomely. Not what I should have been paid, but handsomely doing what I love to do. And yeah, they took that away from me. Like I said, it's been nearly 2 years since I haven't competed, and I'm looking forward to getting back into this work, even though it's boxing. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting back in there. And for me, it's just sad to see some of the guys I do know are working for this company. I mean, although I can't say anything about it, I do speak my mind about it all the time about it, because I understand how things are and the situation that they're in, and how things, you know, how they are caught in a rock at a hard place, if you would say. It's just, you know, for me, from this side, just sitting there, man, it's just, you just hope things will get better. I want things to get better. That's why hopefully this Ali Act comes through and the class action's won.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully, man. Hopefully. And I mean, and then the hope is that if the class action suit is won, that they make the actual changes. Because I mean,
well, all they need to do is just bring in the Ali Act, and in my other lawsuit, you know, hopefully, you know, they can't pay these judges off in the higher circuit, so we can actually make some more changes on the steroid side of it. To be honest,
yeah,
that's the thing.
Yeah. It's talking about judges, not the court judges, but like the judging in certain fights in the UFC. I've also noticed sometimes like people complain and I've complained where sometimes you see a fight and you don't, it doesn't seem right. The judging, the scorecard, is that corrupt in any way, you think?
I mean, the judging is, you know, I couldn't give a fuck about the judging. The company's the fucking crooked. So why the fuck do we worry about the judging when the company's crooked in the start?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's like when people say to me, oh, what about this fight, that fight? I couldn't give a fuck about any fights because at the end of the day, that fight doesn't matter. The real fight's with this company.
Yeah.
So whatever those fights going with this person, that it means jack shit. Because at the end of the day, the real corrupt people are the company that's running these guys. It's just going, oh yeah, we'll just put on this, try and people talk about this. Fuck that. Let's talk about your $5 billion lawsuit, motherfucker.
Yeah. How corrupt do you think it gets? Like, do you think this goes like as bad as like Pride, where there was like mafia involved and people with money like outside just making influences, trying to make more money? Like, or do you think this is just greediness in the whole Dana and the Zuffa, whoever it is that's owning at this point the UFC?
I don't know about the Pride situation. Like I said, with Pride in my steroid lawsuit, the cheating, I asked them. They didn't ask me. They didn't say they have the best testing policies and will look after their shit. They didn't say that they've got this person here and this company called USADA doing this. All they said was, do you want to fight? With UFC, they talk about their best testing policies, all this garbage, yet their history shows, you know, a pattern of the results coming after the fight, after all the pay-per-views are done. This is how this company's working. So, I mean, of course it's a corrupt business.
Yeah.
But, that's not that's why I had to do something about it when I was with these guys, so you know.
Yeah, and then that's such a tricky thing too, the whole USADA thing, because I mean, I know you mentioned that you don't, you know, obviously nobody likes a cheater, but there's also some of the way that they do their testing. Some people that get caught cheating aren't really, they're just kind of doing other things, you know, for other problems. Like I remember, I think it was Anderson Silva or something came out with like he was taking dick pills or something. And that's what caused a flare up in his USADA tests. So, I mean, what can be like, is that something that we should also look into, that, you know, there are certain people that get caught for cheating that aren't really cheating. They're just kind of, it's just other things that are tainted supplements or anything like that. Because I know that happened to Barnett. Like he's a buddy of mine. And I know that he was taking some supplements for something that were tainted. And then it came up that he was cheating and he got, you know, stripped from that, from fighting for the UFC. So, it's kind of a questionable thing, you know.
Whatever excuse you can make up, you can make up. It doesn't matter. I mean, if you get caught once, you know, your friend Josh Barnett's been caught a few times, you know, with this sort of shit. I mean, you can't make these excuses, especially if you're actually going to go and fight with someone else, you know, because you could kill someone.
Yeah.
So I mean, whatever excuse you say that it was this and that, these tainted supplements and all that, but you know, I mean. At the end of the day, he's caught with cheating with some sort of shit. I mean, he could kill someone, and then what could happen? Should he go to jail for fucking murder?
I mean, it should fall on USADA and all those people.
Oh, so okay, so you just putting the blame onto someone else for him ingesting or taking all that shit. That's not right. It's like when someone gets caught drinking and driving and they kill someone.
That's true. That's true.
Whose fault is that? Is that motherfucker's fault? I mean, don't try and push the excuse and blame on someone else when at the end of the day, as an adult, you take responsibility for your own actions. That's what they say to you, you know, before you put your punk ass in jail. They say, you're an adult, take responsibility for your actions. Right. So if you're premeditating fucking cheating and you kill someone, you should be in jail for life.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, man. It's such a weird it's a weird situation now too with this whole COVID lockdown, everybody in quarantine. Like they're trying to push the narrative that there's other bigger fish to fry. I guess there's bigger problems in the world. But
Well, there was no when the your government saying there's actually aliens flying around. No one gives a fuck. That says a lot. Fuck.
yeah, it was on the news. Like, hey, we have UFOs, and they're like, wait, nah, who cares?
That makes me laugh. I'm sitting there going, hey man, there's fucking aliens flying around. People are like this. And GSP was right. There is fucking aliens flying around. And people are like, who gives a fuck?
What are your thoughts on the whole virus? Because I know there's a lot of people that think it's a hoax or it's a conspiracy. I mean, what are your thoughts?
There's so many conspiracy theories, man. Who knows what to believe these days? Fuck. I'm like, holy shit. You guys have an election with Donald Trump. I mean, oh man, and I'm thinking, he's friends with Dana, and I'm thinking, fuck it out. We have actually lost this loyalty because of these fucks. Fucking, I'm like, fuck, this is terrible.
Yeah.
I hope he does. You guys don't vote that guy back in, because there's no way or any justice or anything's going to be passed with this lawsuits. To be honest, there's no equality. These fighters won't. And I'm just talking about fighters paying in the steroid thingy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like you said, hopefully this all people get involved and make a push, because Uncle Dana's got a lot of money and a lot of lawyers that I'm sure will fight you to the last penny. You know what I mean? But it's only fair, I think, that people get paid the right amount of money. And
of course, I mean, of course, that's only equality is in the workplace. I do think that the fans can support by not supporting the UFC. Just don't buy any of their shit. And the fighters need to just get together and and not let's say they won't work, but as you can see, this fighters just hey man, I'll do it.
yeah,
But I just, like I said, this is the time to do it now, because I mean, I would have. I'd hate to think later and down the road I'll hear someone else complaining about getting paid. Because then you've been sitting here and just go, man, just shut up. You fucking tried this shit years ago. You fucking just sat there in your seat and shut the fuck up. You didn't say anything. You didn't say a fucking goddamn thing, and now you want to open your fucking rat mouth.
Yeah, that's you and like the Diaz brothers have been very vocal about that too. I mean, I know that Nate has kept coming back, but like Nick hasn't come back at all since he was like, "I would need proper pay. This is bullshit."
I don't blame him. I don't blame him how they screwed him over, for getting caught for marijuana, gave him 5 years. Well, those fuckers are cheating with actual proper steroids, and they just let him get away with it. This is just rubbish. It's just they're in the pocket for sure with the UFC. These guys, you can see by the history of it all. So yeah, it's the same. After the fights, a test comes out. I mean, they do a whole lot of shit, just crazy shit, and they do it when they want to do it.
Yeah, especially with weed, with the whole Diaz thing. The weed is being legalized in so many states. Like that's ridiculous. That's even an issue. You know what I mean? It's not and if anybody that has smoked weed knows that it's not really that much of an enhancer for your performance, and it enhances how much pain you're going to feel, but that's about it.
Well, I understand totally what you're saying.
Yeah, man. Well, hey, brother, I'm gonna let you go. I know you're busy. You look like you're about to start riding a bike.
But sure, I'm about to go. I've just had my morning coffee in this beautiful place. Man. So I'm just about to go and do some training and get to work, and hopefully these fighters look at it, and all the fans look at it and say, hopefully you can do some change. They have all the power. The fans have the power. The fighters have the power. Just take that step and message the MMAFA. Ask them the questions you need to ask them, and then you can make change in your life.
For sure, man.
If not, kiss my ass, and that's what we do it.
Well, hey, brother, you're a legend, brother. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Thanks for having me out, guys. Appreciate it.
Hey, man. Yeah. Cheers.